And we're back and we're live. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your favorite podcast.
Riffin with Griffin, yeah.
Woo, woo, woo. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Riffin with Griffin.
Riffin with Griffin.
Riffin with Griffin, yeah.
Woo, woo, woo.
Riffin with Griffin, baby.
What's up, y'all? Little crackly morning, boys. With the Riffin with Griffin theme, but we back. What's up, y'all? It's voting day. I hope you out there voting. You know, let's fight for democracy, so make sure you're doing that. Anyways, I got a lot to talk about. Kyrie, Twitter. I saw this movie, Speak No Evil. I went to Adam Ray's wedding. It was beautiful. And we just back in it. I hope you enjoy. So everybody, welcome to Riffin with Griffin.
Riffin with Griffin, yeah. Riffin with Griffin.
All right, y'all. What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming to Riffin with Griffin. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button so you can get the notifications so you know what's going on. I'm usually on Twitch daily. I'll be on Twitch later today because I got to go do Golden Hour after this. And if you want to support the show, there's so many ways you can support the show, okay? There's being a YouTube member. You could be a Twitch subscriber, all right? You could be a Patreon subscriber. And something new is subscription on Instagram too. If you just want to support me, you want to get a little extra, whatever, or you just you're just like, yo man, I want to support you. I like what you're doing. That's different ways you could do that. So I appreciate you guys coming here every single week. It is what it is. Anyways, like I say, it is voting day. Get out and vote. If you be an informed voter. If you're not an informed voter, I actually understand if you didn't vote, you don't want to vote, or you just like, I don't know. I feel like I'd just be, just filling out a ballot for no reason. Whatever it is, I know voting is difficult. It really does. Like sometimes it just doesn't make any sense. I feel like sometimes we voting for things I don't even think we should be voting for, like the sheriff. I mean, the sheriff feels like an interview position. You know what I mean? Like, why are we voting for the sheriff? I don't know this person. I don't know. I get the mayor, the leadership positions, the governor. But there's certain positions where I go, why are we voting for that? Then we have to vote for judges, which to me, there should be some sort of panel or something for judges. Like, I don't know these people. So it is a lot to ask, to be an informed voter. It's tough. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, it's our responsibility to do that. But like I say, just in all practicality, it's tough, especially when they're asking us to look up all this stuff online, but we can't vote online. We can pay taxes online, but we can't vote online. And they always say like, well, with the voting, the system's not secure. It's not secure. It's not safe. Well, is the money safe? Is the money secure? How about you send my vote with the money? Bet you it'll get there. So. I don't know. System's flawed, but we're going to have to figure out what it's going. Thanks for being here live, too. I see people here live. Thank you. Somebody said the sheriff holds power. Yeah, I get that. But what I'm saying, it's still like, it's like it's a officer of the law. They still are, you know what I mean? It just feels like, are we qualified to pick the proper sheriff? How do we decide? Is it based off the person's personality? Or it's based off like experience and knowledge? And how are we supposed to know that? Based off commercials? How do we know that this person is experienced enough? You know what I mean? It's kind of like, hiring an NFL coach or something. I don't know. It's weird. Anyways, I ain't trying to be political about this stuff. I'm just saying, do you today, okay? Anyway, so what's been going on? Man, I haven't seen you guys in a couple weeks live. Last week I put like a sort of crossover episode. I wanted you guys to get a taste of Gen to Gen, but from the numbers, I don't think people like it. It is what it is. We got a new set and everything on that, so you got to check out newer episodes, honestly. So anyways, I went to Adam Ray's wedding in where did we go? It was in Arizona, and it was beautiful, man. It really was. It was at this really nice like resort, and the weather was beautiful because normally Phoenix is terrible, right? Phoenix is terrible, and it's just too hot, and like this is that time of year where Phoenix was beautiful, so it was great. Rachel and I had a really good time, man. But here's the thing that was like, and there, a lot of comics were there too. Jeremiah Watkins, Chris D'Elia, Adam Devine. Like, it was so many people. Like, it was nice to see how many people. Harlan Williams. It was nice to see all the people that Adam Ray has touched, you know. And then he had his mom was there, his like college roommate, his college fraternity guys, like people from all walks of life. His rabbi from when he was a child was doing the ceremony, so it was great. Rick Glassman was there. So here's the funny part for me. So, Rachel's Jewish, okay? So we didn't have a Jewish wedding per se because Rick Glassman, who is Jewish, but he's not a rabbi, was the officiant at our wedding. And it was a beautiful wedding. I really had a good time at my wedding. So we did a few things. Like I broke the glass. We did the circle thing. And Rick said a couple of things that were like, hey, this is the things, the Jewish things. We were underneath the whatchamacallit. I forgot what it's called, right? But Adam Ray's wedding, oh, it was Jewish, okay? Like I'm talking about, there must have been so many things. And so I'm sitting there, and Rick is sitting next to me. So I'm looking over at Rick like, yo, how come we didn't do that? And he's like, I'm not a rabbi. I say, okay, but I mean, and then like one after the other. And then I turned to Rick and I'm like, am I even married? You know what I'm saying? Like, am I even married? Because I'm looking at this like Adam went through all the stops, man. And so, but it was nice. One of the things I liked is that his wife didn't come out to the traditional music. They actually came out to 1,000 Years, the Twilight song, which I love. Because if you guys know my podcast, I love Twilight. Let's just love it. So I loved that. It was great music. The rabbi was doing his singing thing. There was so many things where I was like, wow, this is really, really, really nice and formal and traditional Jewish wedding. And then it was a great, food, and we're outside. The food was great. The setting, everything looked beautiful. And then we go inside, right? And then we're about to do the, they're doing the dancing with the father, the mother, and then they're dancing. And this is the funny thing that happened. So we're sitting there and we're looking at them, and I'm thinking about my own wedding. And I turn to Rachel and I go, I think our wedding was better. And at that moment, Adam goes up and announces, everybody, here's my friend coming to sing for our first dance, John Resnick. Straight up, the lead singer from the Goo Goo Dolls goes on stage with his guitar, and he jams out to, the Goo Goo Dolls, his famous song, "I'll have to roll to rail you, and I don't really understand." And the whole place is like swaying, and everybody's taking videos, and I'm just thinking to myself, well, guess point to Adam. You know what I mean? I was like, oh man, this dude outdid me. But it was beautiful. And then the dude was having a great time, like singing his songs. And then at the end, because everybody was singing the chorus at the end, and it was just like a great moment. And then the guy goes, let's sing the chorus again. It was just like, and then he so he hopped on a private jet, probably came to the wedding, sung the songs. He sung like 2 or 3 songs. And then he was like, see you later. And then he had to go to the airport and get back on a plane because he was doing concerts. So it was like, oh man, it was funny. It was great. So shout out to Adam for putting on a really great wedding. You know what I mean? Had a really great time. So check out, and Adam's doing a lot of great stuff, man. He's in a bunch of stuff. He's on Flatch. He did that Hulu show about the Nixon. He's like, he's on Young Rock. Adam Ray is killing it. He is killing it, and I'm so happy for him that he got married to a beautiful lady. Amanda's great. So shout out to Amanda and Adam Ray. Excuse me. Okay, guys, we got to get to it because, I got to get going. But it is what it is. I love doing my Riffin with Griffin. And, once again, I appreciate you all for being here. So let's get into some delicate stuff. Well, I don't know if it's delicate, but it is what it is. It's like currently what's going on right now. So we got this Kyrie Irving situation. It's been going on for like 2 weeks now. And I said, I want to speak on it. First, it's nuanced. I haven't used this word in a while, but it's a nuanced situation because as things unfold, you deal with it. You're supposed to deal with it as they happen, taking some things into the past into account, but also taking what's happening currently into account. And I think that's important, to have grace and empathy for everybody involved. So, first of all, I thought in the beginning of the season, I thought Kyrie Irving was doing a great job. He was playing great, and he was speaking with the media in a way that you go, I think this guy's going to turn a corner. He was, carrying himself in a way, but, because he got money on the line. It's a contract year, and all the baggage that he brings, the Nets were like, we're not going to re-sign you for any long-term deal. So he was probably going to be done with the Nets anyway, or he was going to have to prove that he could play 82 games or at least close to that and contribute without all this off-the-court drama. And then, boom, drops the bomb. So he tweets out this movie that has these sort of anti-Semitic tropes in it. I haven't seen the movie. I'm not going to say the title of the movie. I'm never going to watch the movie. I mean, if I was a journalist or something, I'm a podcaster, I'm just speaking my mind, you know what I mean? I don't know. You take what you want, but I'm not going to watch this movie because, and normally in these kind of situations too, because it's a weird vibe in the world right now when it comes to like social media and sensitivity and cancel culture. So you got to take things with a grain of salt sometimes. Somebody says, "Oh, this is racist, this is whatever." Sometimes you got to take a pause and be like, "Well, is it?" Then maybe you look at it for yourself and then you go yes or no, right? And maybe these people are just being too sensitive. There is a lot of that going on in the world. Unfortunately, I think it's an unfortunate thing because now you can't trust anybody, right? But I'm going to say this. I have to trust the people that have looked at this, have done their investigating, the Defamation League and all the places that have looked into this movie, and they've put out, these are reputable organizations that are like, look, this has a lot of anti-Semitism in it, and so I have to trust them on that, okay? So then Kyrie Irving tweets out this movie because it has that in it, but I think in his mind, it also has some other stuff in it that is not negative towards Jewish people, right? But that doesn't mean it's okay. You can't discount the other part of it. You know what I mean? It's like Farrakhan was like that. Farrakhan, you might listen to Farrakhan give a speech, and he'll be saying some stuff, and you find yourself going, okay, that makes sense. And then he'll say, and the Jews, and then you go, come on, man. Then you just go, it discounts everything. No matter even if you make a good points, if there's any hate in it, then it's like you take away from it. So why have that? Anyways, so Kyrie Irving tweets out this movie. All right. So that's the first mistake. Okay. Now, I don't know Kyrie Irving. I don't know the whole situation in terms of like how this all played out, but I'm going to give you my personal opinion of what I think happened. I don't think he even saw the movie, honestly. I think that he may know the filmmakers or know someone that knows the filmmakers or, and he just like, and somebody was saying, yo, man, this movie got, this positive black message and this kind of stuff. And he just stupidly and unwittingly just was like, oh yeah, I like that. Boom. And put it up and tweeted it out. You can't do that when you that famous. You can't. You just can't. You know what I mean? When you a public figure that, where the people are involved in commerce, people that buy tickets, people that, you selling merchandise, it's a commercial business. You can't just irresponsibly put out whatever you want, sadly, right? Or I don't even know how to even say that. Anyways, and maybe he did see it and then he just was like, ignored that part of it in his arrogance. Because this is an arrogant dude. Kyrie Irving is an arrogant dude, and I'm going to get into that. So he puts this out, right? Now people get on him. They're like, yo, this has this. So now this is where he mishandled this completely, okay? He mishandled this. Wait, even before I talk about that, let me talk about this for a second. As I said to you earlier, my wife is Jewish. I love her. This is different for me now. I'm married into the tribe, right? I love her family. Like, I never had a big family before. My family is I'm estranged from my family because of a lot of like personal things, and it's like crazy. I've never experienced having a big family. And all of a sudden I've married into this family. All the cousins are great. We text each other, and it's like a thing where I've never experienced before. And I love these people, And so then now I have to, when I see all this hate, towards a group, when you're not even considering that these are individuals, these are people who have lives and families, and they're just like you. Just because you disagree with or you have some weird thing about where someone's from, I mean, to me, it just feels stupid. It feels stupid. Racism feels stupid, And then on top of race, anyway. So I have my own feelings of like, how am I supposed to speak about this? How am I supposed to, it sucks. So anytime I see this kind of like hatred, and then you Google like, man, there's not a lot of Jews in the world anymore. This is a tribe of people that, went through some horrific stuff, and now they're just trying to live and survive. Apparently there are more Jews in Brooklyn than there are in Israel. That says a lot about how many Jews there are in Brooklyn and also how little there are in the entire world. Anyways, that being said, so getting back to it, he puts out this movie, and then the people are getting on him like, yo, bro, this thing is terrible. It's and how he handled it was just terrible. And it's all about pride and ego, and I get that as a comic when like, say I have a joke I do, and then somebody comes and says like, oh, you hate women, or that's racist, or you're transphobic, or you hate whatever, right? As a comic, you get offended. I'm like, no, I don't. You don't understand the joke. That's the initial reaction, And so, but at least my intent, or even I'm sure maybe his intent was like, he really thought that this was like, okay, the other parts of it, and it like outweighed the anti-Semitism. I just don't believe he even looked at the movie. That's what I believe, really. I think that's why this is really stupid. So I get the sort of visceral reaction to be like, nah, you don't know me, right? And so, but he's such a public figure that all he had to do was just be like, you know what? Didn't realize this was like this. Wasn't my intention to offend anyone. I'm deeply sorry for, that's what you do. Okay. Mean it or not, people were hurt. People were hurt. Okay. People were like, yo, man, Jewish people are like, yo, we buy tickets, to the Nets, like, well, you coming off like, anyways, he didn't do that. And he's like this sort of like aloof, like, how can I be anti-Semitic when I know who I am? Motherfucker, just apologize. You know what I mean? Like, put your fucking ego aside and just apologize. And that's what he couldn't do. He just couldn't do it. He couldn't do it until the Nets themselves suspended him. And then he was like, oh shit, money's on the line. Whoa, I'm in a contract here. I'm about to my career is about to be in jeopardy. Ooh, now let me apologize. It comes off transparent and it comes off disingenuous. I mean, when he could have just, but he felt pressured. He felt like, he took a stand where he shouldn't. And this is who he is. So this is my problem with the whole thing. I have a problem with how he dealt with it. But at the same time, this is who he is. This is the guy that put out the earth is flat for whatever reason he was saying. This is the guy that was like, he got hurt in college, didn't play a lot. He was in trouble before LeBron James got there. LeBron James is so great. He overcame all that, got the best out of Kyrie. They won a championship. But then in the end, you heard all these rumblings out of Cleveland that he was difficult to deal with. Okay, they trade him. He goes to Boston. At Boston, he ruins that situation. He was not a good teammate. It didn't work out. He says, I'm coming back. He doesn't. That situation blunders. He goes to the Nets. Okay? Now he's at the Nets. All right? He doesn't play. Then the pandemic hits, right? The pandemic hits, and he decides, well, I'm not going to go play in the bubble. He's telling people not to play in the bubble. Then he's like, I don't want to play without Kevin. Once Kevin Durant decides to go there, he's like, well, I don't want to play with y'all. I want to wait for Kevin Durant to come. He doesn't play. Meanwhile, making $30-something million a year, right? Then January 6th happens, and he's like, I can't go to work. And then he's caught going to parties with his sister, okay? He's at a family party instead of playing basketball that he's getting paid to do. Then the vaccination comes, and he's like, I don't want to get vaccinated, okay? Even though, and that's his right, right? That's his right to be that way. But at the same time, he put this, he let his teammates down. His teammates were like, well, we're going to do it because we want to play, we want to win, this is what we want to do. And he's like, nah, he takes some weird stance for people. By the way, he wasn't wrong about what he was saying. I just don't know if he went about it the right way. But like I say, that's your right, okay? Because it turns out in New York had this crazy mandate that, public workers had to be vaccinated. So a lot of like firemen, policemen, people like that left their jobs, forced out sort of. But now they sued and they got reinstated and with back pay because it wasn't right. So that's what I'm saying, how it's nuanced. Kyrie Irving's intentions, I don't know if they were genuine, but what he was saying was right. Okay. So again, I can have a comment about his choice to not get vaccinated because he wasn't playing. I could be like, I think you should have got vaccinated and played, but I respect your right. That's your choice, right? So you had that drama, okay? And then now cut to this. This is the latest drama. It doesn't translate to winning. I don't know. They should just cut ties with him. Let him play or cut ties with him, okay? So there you have that, all right? So that's why this happening is compounded because of who he is and his history. Now, cut to the Nets organization, super dysfunctional organization. They fired the coach when Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant got there. The dude that was winning. He got the best out of those guys. They even made the playoffs, right? Kenny Atkins. And then they fired him because Kyrie and they had this like, well, we don't need a coach, right? They hire Steve Nash, okay? So then cut to now, there's no accountability with the Nets. So Kyrie Irving decides not to get vaccinated. Then New York has this weird thing where the home team can't play unless they're vaccinated, but people from out of state can come in and work whether they're vaccinated or not. That was stupid. But they make a choice and they go, all right, Kyrie, if you're not going to get vaccinated, you can't play. That's just, that's the rules. You're not getting paid. Sit out. He was like, fine. He lost like $17 million. But then they caved on it. Then they said, all right, now you can play because, we're trying to win. That was weak. They should have just stuck to their guns and dealt with him at the end of the season on what they're going to do. That was weak. All right. So then you cut to with the Nets also, you have Kevin Durant, who was like, trade me. After he already signed a 4-year deal. He's like, trade me. So he goes, and then they don't trade him because they can't get equal value. And then why would he want to go to a team that they have to gut just to have him? Now he can't win a championship with that team. So they don't trade him. Then he says, okay, I'll come back if you fire the GM and Steve Nash, the coach, right? Joe Tsai, the owner, is like, no, I'm not going to do that. He tweets out like, I support my guys. Cut to 7 games into the season, this Kyrie Irving thing breaks out. They fire Steve Nash. Like, this organization is the worst. So now we're coming to the reason why I'm talking about this. You got a dysfunctional organization. You got an arrogant billionaire owner. You got Kyrie Irving, this aloof dude who thinks he's smarter than everybody. You have him and his arrogance and pride, and they're going head up against each other. Because this is what's happening right now that I don't agree with. So now Kyrie Irving has apologized. He was wrong. He waited too long. It's not a good look. It comes across as arrogant and prideful. He apologizes. He offers $500,000 to the Defamation League or whatever organization that is. Nets match it, okay? And now he's just like, then the Nets go, we're going to suspend you for 5 games. Okay. The dude made a mistake. He's come out publicly finally like, look, I'm not anti-Semitic. I just think he made a mistake and he didn't want to admit it. It was arrogant. People got hurt. There should be a punishment. They did it. Now the Nets are talking about there's this 6 steps he has to do to come back to the organization. I think it's too much. I feel like they're pouring it on. He apologized. He's paying the fine. He's losing money because the 5-game suspension, the guy makes $40 million. So, that's a lot of money per game. I think that's enough. If you don't want him around your organization anymore because he's too toxic, then you trade him, cut him, tell him to stay home. We'll pay you, stay home. But what they're doing right now is too much. And now the league has to step in, the Players Association. And the Players Association, they represent the players regardless. Regardless of whatever happens, that's their job, is to represent the players. So now they got to step in and be like, yo, look, we don't necessarily agree with what Kyrie did, but y'all can't treat him like this. So you got this billionaire owner, and then Kyrie Irving also, that's his boss. The dude was like, Kyrie Irving, from reports, ignored him for 3 or 4 days. You can't do that. A dude's paying you $40 million. You answer his calls, period, right? So I just think it's a bucking of heads going on right now that it's going to now, the situation is now going to be made even worse because of ego and pride. The whole thing's nuanced, man. It's nuanced. And it's getting worse because now if you go, hey, I'm not supporting Kyrie Irving and what he did, but I do support the idea that, like, you can't just treat people now like this because you want to pour it on. And then now you're going to have people being like, oh, well, that means you support anti-Semitism. No, you don't. This is nuanced. This could be picked apart. It's a terrible situation from a dysfunctional organization and a dude that is like, something's not 100% going on right in this dude's head, man. And that's been going on now for a while. And it might be time for the NBA to cut ties with Kyrie Irving, but you can't just treat a dude like this. He made a mistake. He's trying to pay for it. Let's move on, or like I say, get rid of him or let him play. One or the other. So I want to know what you guys have to say about it. Let's have a good discourse about it and see where we can go. I love to respond to people, but let's do it. Now, that being said, because this gets into my next subject I want to talk about, which is, where is it? Which is now, I got to do this. This is when it's all me by myself. You know what I mean? Wait, come on now. Come on, Griffin. There we go. Our next subject is Mr. Musk buying Twitter. Now, let me say this, man. As I say, I would love a healthy discourse. I love that. There's a sentiment out in the universe, the online universe, that I'm supposed to allow negativity on my personal social media channels. I'm just going to dispel that right now. I adamantly disagree with that premise. Okay? I disagree with this premise that, like when somebody goes, man, why are you limiting your comments? That's a bad look. No, it's not. This is my shit. On my YouTube channel, if I don't want your nonsense on my channel, it's not going to be on my channel. That's my prerogative. That's my right. Especially the way people do it. Like, it's like if you disagree with me right now about like Kyrie, or you have your own thoughts, you don't have to pepper that with, oh, you fat idiot, oh, you're stupid, or all this like extra adjectives to the things that you want to say. Just be like, yo, Griff, I disagree. Here's what I think. And then I could be like, oh, man, I feel you. Here's what I think to that. What happened to that? What happened to like productive, positive discourse between two people? But no, it just becomes a thing where people just want to be negative and nasty. See, y'all don't get it. I get a lot of nasty hate from people. And I'm at the point now where like, nah, I don't want that on my channel. Like, so if you're one of these people out there that's like, oh, why are you hiding comments? Because I don't like what you have to say. Period. It's my shit. This is my fiefdom right here. I don't need your negativity on my channel. And then here's what I do. I don't even block people. I normally do not block people. I just hide. So that way, when you go to your YouTube channel and you're looking at my comments, you see your comment because it's for you. But I don't want that for my people and my eyes. See ya. Same thing on Instagram. I restrict. I have two things I do on Instagram. I have it where you have to be my friend to comment. So there are people that come to my page who want to hate. They just immediately come and like, you stupid. And then it goes, oh man, I can't even comment. Oh, why are you being a coward? No. You're not a fan. You know what I mean? Like, you have to follow me. Just follow me, write your negativity, and then unfollow. And then I know, oh, restrict. And then once you're restricted, you can't put any comments. I get these messages of people like, oh man, why are your comments restricted? And then like expletive. And I'm just like, because of this. That's why. Now, that being said, why am I talking about this in terms of this guy? It's because here's the thing. I feel like all of us have the right to be like, hey, I just want positivity on my social media. All right. Even if you say some things that are like ridiculous, it's your right to be like, well, I only want people that agree with me to be on my thing. That's fine. What I don't like, though, is when the companies are the ones that make those choices. That's when I have a problem, because then you're going, well, who's making this choice? Like, Instagram's on this nonsense, man, with like, it's some sort of computer AI. Like, I'll give you an example. I play Call of Duty. I play, I play video games. So I'm playing Call of Duty. So there was a video I saw, and the dude did this incredible play. And then the vernacular of like, when you're talking about video games, you call somebody sweaty. When you call somebody sweaty, it means they're really good, and they're just like taking advantage of the game mechanics, and they're really good. So I was like, oh man, you sweaty bitch, right? That's a positive comment. But the Instagram AI picks that up as like, you're being negative and boom, boom, boom. And you're just like, oh, wow. So the human element is being taken out of it completely. And so now we have to only talk in a certain way. You know what I mean? You mentioned the word, I'm not even going to say it because that's what's going to happen. You mentioned a disease I already did anyway, so it don't matter. You say COVID or vaccination, all of a sudden the algorithm picks that up, and all of a sudden on your videos, on your Instagram, there's some thing about, misinformation and make sure boom, boom, boom. And you're like, whoa, hold on a second. There's no human beings actually doing that? Because what I don't appreciate is, they will do this for COVID, but they won't do it for allegations. They won't do it for like people saying rude, negative things. I just, you know what I mean? So I don't appreciate when like the organization itself is they're like policing morality. Yes, there are hate speech and things that we just can't have it in society. But then there's a level where you just go like, who's making this choice? I think it should be like, like I say, on your thing, I'm totally okay with anybody being like, I don't want no negativity on my page, channel, whatever. This is my social media. I want to be social, and I want to be social. Like I'm a sort of a public figure, and I'm doing a podcast like this, so I do allow some discourse. All I'm saying is, if you're gonna have some negativity in it, if there's gonna be some personal attacks on me, you out, bitch. Bye. And if you have a problem with that, hey, middle fingers up to you too. So that's just how that's going to go. So Now, cut to what I'm talking about now. Elon Musk, the deal went through and he's bought Twitter. This is my personal opinion on this. This is the dumbest vanity purchase ever. $44 billion for a product that I don't think people really use all that much. I think there's a lot of bots on it. The engagement is super low. Like if you have 1,000 followers and you get 10 likes, it's like, well, are these people even seeing this? Who's even on it? Some studies, they're talking about the certain age group, the millennials are, whatever that age group, like under 35, whatever it is, it's only 25% of them even use Twitter. Like if he had called, if he had bought TikTok, man, that'd be a whole different thing, right? Because that has the most engagement. Apparently TikTok just passed Google for the most searches. So, I mean, then you talk about, well, here's something that's really influential. I just don't know if Twitter is all that influential anymore. Do you even tweet? Are you guys tweeting? Like, who's still tweeting? Like, who still gets information from Twitter? Like, I would like to know what you guys think about that. And by the way, so I see there's an idiot in chat already, you know? So I challenged this already. I have never banned people for criticizing my point of view. I just said to you. So now this guy I'm so glad you did this because this is a perfect example right here, guys, right in chat. So the guy starts it off with an insult. Erik is too soft. Is that needed in this thing? Is that needed? Is that part of it needed? You know, I don't ban anyone for insults. If you make me laugh, if you want to call me fat or whatever it is, and you construct that in a funny joke, I'll be the first person that laughs. See, you don't know me like that. And you're a coward. I'm right here on Front Street. My name is Erik Griffin. You can email me. You can even come see me live and come approach me and be like, yo, man, I didn't like, but you're a coward. We don't even know who you really are. That's not even your real name. So you out here keyboard warrioring like you're saying something prolific or profound. You're not. You just did what I just said. You started off your comment with an insult and it's not necessary. Does everybody see what I'm saying? Is that part of what he said necessary? No, it's not necessary. I'm all for discourse. Go to my comment section. If somebody says something to me that they're like, whatever, I respond right back and we have a good back and forth. Bitches like this, bye. Okay, so now we'll never see that guy again. All right, so we moved on. You see what I'm saying? That's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm actually so glad that guy came into the chat because it's perfect. You know, this is for fun, man. I'm having fun. I'm getting my point of view out. Some people like my point of view, so that's why they listen. The people that disagree with my point of view, you come at me and be like, yeah, man, I disagree with that, but I appreciate this or that. Like, let's just have a positive discourse. That's all I want, okay? Let me say again, you wanna make fun of me and you wanna make a joke? Make a joke. I'm all for jokes. I'm a comic, okay? Make jokes. But if you coming at me with insults, I don't want you here. See you later. And then the people that say, don't give them attention. No, it has to be pointed out for the rest of y'all, okay? The rest of y'all so we can know how we can make it better. All right? Anyways, so Elon buys this Twitter. I think it's a stupid purchase, man. I really do. And then all the things that are going on, he's trying to like have a paywall. I don't know if I'm going to do it. I haven't really decided yet because I was thinking, do I use Twitter? I just don't tweet anymore. And when I do tweet, it's like, oh, here's my show or here's my podcast. And I don't even know how much engagement, you really get on that. Let's see. Let me go to my Twitter right now, man. I'm going to Twitter. Oh, you know what? Let's do it like this. You go to Twitter. Let's see if this is working. Yeah. You go to Twitter, right? So let's say, you look at your page, right? You go to your profile. I have like 68,000 followers. That's not a lot in the grand scheme of things. And like, for instance, I just tweeted out my podcast. I got three likes. Like this is, Twitter's not even, like I put out this stand-up video that I have right now, which you got to check out. Shout out to Comedy Dynamics. I have this clip I put out, 15 likes. But on Instagram, I got like 70,000 views and I've got 1,000 likes. And, I just don't think like Twitter, people are even engaged in Twitter anymore. So I just don't know if what is the purpose? It would be one thing if it was like, this is the kind of thing, oh man, it's going and going. Twitter's the kind of thing you just hear about. People are upset about things, Here's what I think about social media even in general. And like, we can apply this also to the Kyrie Irving situation. The internet doesn't make you famous. The internet actually is anti-fame. And I'll tell you why I feel that way. The internet goes like this. Hey, y'all. Look at that guy. Look at this girl. Look at this thing. And then we all go, okay. Now it's up to that person, entity, to keep our attention. We look at it and we go, oh. But what ends up happening after that is it has to keep going and keep going. So it is relied upon that person now to rise to the occasion. Off the internet, by the way. So what ends up happening is the only reason why we say follow someone or we keep them attention on the internet is because of what they're doing off the internet. So like if it's a comic, you think they're funny. So you go watch them perform live. And then you watch their podcast or you whatever that is. And then you keep doing it because they keep making you feel like, oh, I like that person. I like that person. But it's not the internet. It really is the person. So cut to Kyrie Irving, who won a championship. He was in Uncle Drew. So he was popular because of those things. But then he hasn't done anything of significance since, in terms of like why we even like him. It's because he plays basketball. But he plays basketball individually well, but it doesn't lead to winning. And that's all we really care about in terms of when we see an influencer. Now ask yourself, who in the basketball world do you want to hear things from, really? Like, there's very few basketball players that I go, oh, well, let me follow this guy because of his political beliefs or because of his movie recommendations, or maybe there's a few basketball players that you go, oh, I like this guy because he does this other thing. Like, there's a few players that game, right? And you might be like, oh, that dude's a good gamer. So that's why but the only reason why you watching the gaming is because what? He's a famous basketball player. But then it gets into a thing where you go, well, I don't know if I want to hear personal opinions, or you may not want to hear it, right? You barely want to hear it from a comic, but the nature of what comedy is we analyze things and talk about them. We try to make them funny, right? Like my podcast is like, when I'm doing solo like this, I tend to just be serious, but like when I'm on other podcasts and you watch me, you're like, oh, he's good with other people. And that's why people are like, Griff, you need a co-host. But this is for me too. I like doing this. I like having a place where I could just like get this out. That's why I want to have a discourse with people, right? So, anyways, what basketball players do we really go, oh, let's hear? There's only one, really. If you think about it, LeBron James is the only basketball player that we go, all right, we're going to listen to some of the things that he says. He has influence outside of basketball, but the only reason why he has that influence is because he's arguably the greatest player ever. If he wasn't, we wouldn't care. So this is what I'm saying. So like LeBron James is about to go away. Okay? He is about to retire in the next few years, and when he's not that basketball player anymore, I don't know if we're going to want to hear anything he has to say after that. he might transition into being a mogul, you know? He might turn into like, you know, where he's got, you know, music companies and all that stuff. Then we might go, oh, okay, like Mark Cuban or somebody. We'd be like, oh, then he'll have that influence. But it's because he's rich, and it's not because of the internet. You know what I'm saying? Like, the internet exposes people. The internet exposes you. And if you don't keep it up, then people start to look at a person and go, like, that's what's happening with Kyrie Irving. We looking at him like, yo, bro, we don't really care. Can you win? Can you go play basketball now? Because it's not going well. And we start to realize what is the reasons why we even listen to people, you know? And then you have like, you know, anyways, so that's what I'm saying. It's like anti-fame. So Elon, it feels like now he's out here tweeting constantly. He's out here tweeting. He's out here making fun of people. He's out here like, I mean, I guess if you were a billionaire, I guess you do the same thing. Like, you're a billionaire and this is your platform and you're out here just going at it. Yeah, it's going to be $8 a month. Oh, you can say whatever you want, but it's going to cost you $8. He had this tweet about Kathy Griffin, you know, that she got her account got suspended, you know, and somebody was like, oh, Kathy Griffin's account got suspended because she was pretending to be Elon Musk. And then he tweeted, no, she got suspended for pretending to be a comedian or something like that, right? And it was like a sick burn, but it's like, damn, he owns the company. So now here's what I'm saying. He's in a tough situation because what if people start coming at him? Is he going to start removing people because of that? That's going to take away. It's weird. It's going to take away the integrity of Twitter itself. Like, I don't mind if Elon like blocks people from his personal Twitter account, but if he like, it's a weird thing because like, how do you determine why things are happening? So it's like I just don't know, guys. I don't know how this is gonna play out. But just originally, why I'm even talking about this is I don't think this was a good purchase. So you could tell me why you think it's a good purchase. I'd love to see in the comments. I just don't think Twitter's all that important. I don't think it's real. I think that, you know, you hear about people being like outraged on Twitter and then you hear about it and then you look and then nothing happens. Like, nothing really happens. You know, occasionally stuff happens because if there's real world consequences like Kyrie Irving, it's real world consequences, you know? It's not because of the internet. It's not because of cancel culture. It's not because of like, no, it's like he did something that like, it's going to affect the bottom line. It's going to, you know, a large group of people who were insulted. I mean, it's you know what I'm saying? But the internet just like a tool, but it's not the reason. So I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. I really want to know what you guys think. To me, like I say, to me, this was the dumbest vanity purchase ever. It's like a dude buying like $1 million Yeezys, you know, with like diamond encrusted. And he's like, it's just a floss. Like, yo, look at my Yeezys. Now they're a collector's item. And, you know, and it is, you know, you go, okay, why'd you spend $1 million on shoes? When you're a billionaire, you spend this amount of money on something like this, man. And you're just like, whoa, this is a lot. You know what I mean? It's a lot. So I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. I would love to hear what you guys have to say in your comments about it. You think it's a great purchase? You think like Twitter is going to change the world or something? I think if Twitter was going to change the world, it already would have. I just think that people move on fast. We go from Friendster to MySpace to Instagram to TikTok. Twitter's sprinkled in there. What's the next thing going to be? I just think that that's felt like a lot of money, and I don't think it was necessary. I just, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's going to like put the pay platform, and maybe it's going to, you know, this whole idea of free speech and all this stuff is fine. You know, people like to throw around the words free speech, not realizing that free speech also means that the people can respond with free speech too. You know, that's the thing. You know, that's the thing people need to remember. I have free speech to say this, and you have free speech to disagree. And then I have free speech to disagree with your disagreement. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. It's just, I think that shouldn't be peppered with insults and, you know, negativity. Doesn't have to be negative. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be negative. Right? Anyways, like I say, Yeah. Anyways, whatever. That's it with that. So I got to go soon. I just want to talk about. Normally, I wanted to do this thing where I recap. You know how I like to recap movies. You know, I'm not gonna do it with this one. I wanted to, because it's like, man, I saw this movie recommended by a friend of mine. You know, oh man, look at my green screen isn't working well. You guys see that? I don't like that. Why does it look like that? You know, if you're listening live, you know, you're gonna. I mean, if you're listening, you're gonna be like, "What's he talking about?" You know. Let's see if I can fix that a little bit. Ooh. Wait. Ah, there we go. Boom. Yeah. Look how I fixed that. So I saw this movie. It's like a Dutch movie. It's called Speak No Evil. Yeah, it's got subtitles, but it's still a lot of it's in English. It's about a Danish family visits a Danish family visits a Dutch family they met on a holiday. What was supposed to be a nice weekend slowly starts to unravel. It unravels into some horrific. Let me tell you guys something. This is the most horrific movie I've ever seen in my life. The ending. It's a slow burn. It's a slow burn, slow buildup where you just kind of be like, whoa, that's weird. Oof, what's going on there? And it just goes and goes to this terrifying, horrific moment that I wish I'd never seen. So I am recommending this movie. I'm recommending it and at the same time saying, don't watch it. It's one of those, do you know what this is like? This is like, remember The Ring? You know, like The Ring. And this is like Jeremiah Watkins. I gotta give him credit for this joke because we were talking about this and he said this to me too. It's like, remember when The Ring, you know, in The Ring, like you pass this video on and when you see it, you got 7 days and somebody else has to watch it or you're going to die. That's how I feel about what this movie is. This movie, man, I'm telling you, it's just what happens in the end of this movie. Whoo! So what I'm doing right now is I'm giving a shout out to the movie because I think next week I'm going to do a complete recap of the movie. So this is like spoiler alert for next week. And I'm just going to recap the whole movie and tell you everything that happens. So this is just like the beginnings of it. So you know, like, get yourself prepared for this because this shit is going to be scary. All right. Anyways, let me see. Let me get this. Let me get this going here because that's going to be the episode, y'all. But I got to get, you know, my music for the rap recap, you know me, I'm out here doing my thing out here ripping and rapping. You know what I'm saying? So let me see which one. Oh, here we go. This is a good beat. So ladies and gentlemen, I do want to thank you for watching Riffin with Griffin. And make sure you, subscribe, all that stuff, share. Yeah. It's the rap recap. Riffin with Griffin. Here we go. With the sick ass flow. Now you know. I don't regular Joe. Ho, ho, ho. Check out the flow. Make sure you subscribe and share. I know that you don't care. Keep your negativity on the side. Strive to stay alive. I don't know why that's still up there, but whatever. Okay. Hey, Elon bought Twitter. It ain't a hitter. I think it's a shitter. I'm about to quit her. If I have to pay $8, everybody holler. That's about it. Erik Griffin is the shit. Kyrie Irving went back. He won't come back. He sound like he on crack.
You need to take it back. That was whack. It's full of slack. Speak no evil was horrific. Maybe it was terrific. I don't think so. Watch that thing so I can flow. Thanks for being here. Podcast of the year. Sick flows all up in your ear.